Man, what a crazy time we live in. If you guys follow Spider-Man 2 or Insomniac on Twitter, I'm sure you've seen by now the countless leaks that have been going on since the end of last year from Insomniac. But as of late, we literally just got footage of features that were supposed to be in Spider-Man 2 that didn't quite make the cut. And one of those features that they do kind of still have in the game is destructible environments. And bro, this is absolutely insane. So in the footage we see on Twitter, it looks like Peter's just fighting some of the hunters and they knock him outside into the street. And it's just utter chaos. You got fucking cars running into buildings and shit. It just looks crazy. And to me, for them to even still have that in the game in some of the sections, like for example, when you're fighting in Craven's not penthouse, I'm gonna just call it Craven's penthouse, whatever. When you're fighting in that area, you're actually destroying a lot of the walls if you use a lot of the symbiote abilities. And for example, when you actually get to play as Venom in Oscorp, you're destroying a lot of the infrastructure in Oscorp. I feel like that feature would have been absolutely crazy to actually show the carnage and chaos that comes with you using the symbiote abilities. That would have been incredible. And then, which I, for one, also thought was odd, and also a lot of people in the community, because a lot of the press run for Spider-Man 2, especially if you remember that first teaser trailer that came out, I think back in 2021, it showed the Spider-Man interacting with Venom in the city. So in that first teaser trailer, it shows Miles and Peter pulling up to an alleyway. It's all black, and then Venom's face shows up. And then I think maybe a month before the game actually came out, it was another trailer of Miles and Peter fighting Venom in broad daylight in the middle of the city. And we actually get to see some pre-alpha gameplay, because it still has the Spider-Man 1 UI, it still has the battle focus and the suit power and everything up in the top corner. And it has this big hulking figure that is presumably supposed to be Venom, just throwing him around. Not only is it throwing him around, but like I said, it's also destroying environments, and it also looks like it's supposed to be in the city. Dude, we got robbed. I'm not gonna lie. We actually got robbed. What a lot of people are also saying is that it seems like Sony probably rushed Insomniac to deliver this game. I gotta say, I kind of agree with that, because in between Spider-Man 1 until Spider-Man 2, we got 2 other games from Insomniac, and also kind of 3 if you want to include the Spider-Man remaster. So we got Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and then we got the remaster, which of course they had to do a little bit of work too. It's not like they just ported it over. Believe it or not, they actually did have to work on the remaster. It's just a shame that we got so many ideas from just these pre-alphas and these teaser trailers that didn't make the cut. I remember somebody saying in this distant YouTube comment about the trailer with Miles and Peter fighting Venom in the street, how cool it would be if, say, you were just swinging around, and you know how Venom doesn't activate the spider sense. How cool it would be if you're just swinging around and then boom, Venom just attacks you out of nowhere, and then let's say it transitions into that footage where he's just throwing you through those destructible environments like in the leaked footage we saw on Twitter. And that's immediately what my mind went to when I saw that footage. I'm like, dude, they're fighting Venom out in public. Dude, that would have been great. Now, I'm not too sure if them fighting in public was going to be before or after he got the meteorite and made everything in the web of shadows. I'm going to assume it's going to be beforehand, because that's only when Venom is kind of creepy. And I'm not going to lie to you, I would have preferred they didn't do the web of shadows thing, because I believe Venom is much more creepier, where he is the abnormality around everything else. If everything else looks like a human being and looks normal, and then you have this huge giant slug muscular monster just roaming around, that to me is a lot more creepy and a lot more sinister and a lot more menacing than when he turns the entire city into symbiotes, because then it's just okay, this is a red variation of Venom. This is a yellow variation of Venom. This is a green one. This is a large gray one. Like, it's like, it kind of diminishes the appeal and the it factor, or the aura that comes with Venom being in this game. And Venom in Spider-Man 2, I think he's the biggest one we've ever seen. I think prior to this Venom, I think maybe Web of Shadows Venom was pretty huge. Tom Hardy's Venom is also pretty huge, but this Venom is like 8 foot, like 300 pounds of muscle. Like, this dude looks scary. And to kind of water that down with this gray one out in out in free roam New York when you're doing these random crimes, it very much diminishes his presence and his aura. Like I said, we also got to see like all types of other footage. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen the Spider-Man co-op multiplayer game that Insomniac was working on. And I actually have a little theory about that one. I feel like they actually leaked that one to see the public reception of it. And if that's something that people want, then that's something that they may continue to work on, because it's quote unquote canceled until we actually get like a confirmation that, yeah, it's canceled. Then I believe it. Because I don't know, man. For that footage to just come out of nowhere, and it's more than just one trailer too. It's like multiple trailers of that game. I just feel like they're trying to test the waters. Like, give us a little nibble to see if we like it or not, and then they'll continue to work on it. And on top of that, not even just the cutout features, but just the whole New Game Plus fiasco we had, the not being able to change the symbiote color, the no replayable missions, no change in day or night cycle. It definitely seems like Spider-Man 2 was rushed. And I remember during the first 2 weeks of the game coming out, everyone has that sort of honeymoon phase with a new game that everybody has, me included. I'm not gonna lie, in that third act of the game, I kind of started seeing the cracks. To me, the third act of Spider-Man 2 just doesn't hold up whatsoever. But those first 2 acts are kind of somewhat decent, especially the first one. I very much like the first one. But you can definitely see the third act was kind of pasted together to try to bring you to a conclusion of the game. And with all these cutout features, who knows what else they had to cut out to meet the deadline? Because I'm assuming Sony gave them a fall release date, and the furthest they could do, or the earliest they could do, was October. So I don't really fault Insomniac at all for what we got, because they've proven to us they can give us a very well-crafted game with Spider-Man 1 and with Miles Morales. I mean, Miles Morales is a shorter experience. It's not supposed to be a full game, but it's still a game nonetheless. They showed us they can give us good stories and good gameplay functions 2 times in a row with Spider-Man. As far as that leak goes of the calendar for their games, it appears that Spider-Man 3 is going to come out in like 2028, maybe 2029, and God, that seems fucking far away. But I really do hope that after the reception of Spider-Man 2, that Sony gives them a little bit more time to actually develop what they want. Because as far as I see, I don't see this franchise going past a third game. It definitely could, but I feel like just a trilogy is the standard for these AAA video game franchises, or stories, I mean. So I really want the third game to really knock it out of the park, and for Insomniac to really give it their all.